All right, so we started recording. Okay, so this is going to be the walkthrough of my presentation. One teacher gave me a tip is when you give a student these presentation slides, always have a slide that kind of explains how to use the slides that they're going through. So that's why I put this little introductory slide that says, we'll be using Google Slides to create a Meet the Teacher bulletin board, put this in presentation mode, click through my classroom. So I tell students, or I tell you guys what to do when you're going through the presentation. So I'm putting this in present mode. And so I'm going to click to the next slide. And then you see my welcome board, my Bitmoji, all this crazy stuff. And then you see this blue link. So I'm going to click on that blue link and it takes me to my Meet the Teacher bulletin board. So I've pulled photos and weird clips from Google and I've removed backgrounds and I've put them on my board. And then even my dog is a link. And one thing we have to teach students too is that if you're moving your mouse around the screen, if it turns into that little white hand, there's something there to click. So that's another thing that we'll want to prompt students with as well. But as you can see, if I drag my mouse over here, say I click on the Wicked Playbill on my board, it takes me to another slide within the presentation and has a video and all these fun facts and pictures of me and just something about myself. And then I created a link down in the bottom right-hand corner that will take me back to that slide. So I click go back, and then I can do the same thing. I want to click on the ASU thing. So now I've got pictures of me when I was in school, when I graduated, I talk about my degree, and then I click the go back feature. And then again, for all the other objects in my classroom that I want the kids to be able to see. So that's a walkthrough of my classroom. Does anybody have any questions so far? And I'm gonna resend these documents because Tanya, I will send these to you because you just got in, so you're good. It's blocked by admin. I tried adding into my other Google account and still said the same thing. I'll just resend the document link and see if you guys can get in. Let's see.
Megan, I have a question. It
Yeah,
says that my Bitmoji extension isn't on.
Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about this morning, because what we'll be doing together won't really include the Bitmoji because SUSD blocked the Bitmoji application through our SUSD accounts. So if you are logged into your Google SUSD account, you will not be able to have a Bitmoji extension.
So I did figure out that if I go on my personal computer,
yeah,
I can add it even to my SUSD account because it's on my personal computer.
Interesting. So that's interesting for you because that did not happen for me because I'm signed in and I had it and it wouldn't let me add Bitmoji again. So interesting.
Okay. Are they gonna unblock it?
Yeah.
All good. All right, we got some other questions. So I know
This is Tanya. Sorry, I'm sorry. So even if I can find a workaround, I won't be able to do it through my SUSD.
And Tanya, are you talking specifically about the Bitmoji?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I had to go, so I have a personal Gmail account.
Yeah.
And so I signed into my personal Gmail account and I added the Bitmoji extension to that so that it would work. And so I'll just have those two windows open at the same time so I can drag and drop into my slides.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so I might have to do it from my personal computer. Okay,
Yeah, that would be my suggestion. And you can save them and you can use them if it's not translating over the way that you want it to. And that would be something you could ask me about later, but not necessarily something I'll go over today.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so Jane, you guys just hopped in. I have the documents that are in the Google Doc for the Genius Hour today. They are there. I also put them in the chat. And just so you guys know, I am recording. All right, so we just walked through my classroom, and so then I wanted to start on the how-to portion of today. So if everyone will grab the document that says Meet the Teacher Bulletin Board. And it looks like, I'm gonna share my screen again, but it looks like this. So this will be the slides that we're working on right now. I'll give you a minute. I'm gonna go let my dog out while you guys find that. Never mind. He didn't want out. All right. Is anybody having trouble opening that document? Okay, cool. So I'm just going to quickly, since you guys have it in front of you, I'm gonna let you play. I'm not gonna share my screen because there's step-by-step instructions, but I'm gonna be working on it with you and talking you guys through it. So it should have prompted you to make a copy of it. Double check your screen right now. If in the corner, in the right-hand corner, it says view only, you won't be able to do anything. So if it says view only, you're going to need to make a copy of the presentation. So, and I am going to share my screen now. Okay, so we are, again, like I said, if you were not able to type or manipulate this and it says view only up in the left-hand corner, go ahead, go to File, make a copy of the entire presentation, and then you can edit it and have it for your own use. And then I have a little, students will be able to slide because I'm a true teacher. So I'm going to talk about searching for images using the Explore tool, removing backgrounds of pictures that you get off Google or something else. Like I went to the World Market site and I got my little table and one of the chairs in my classroom from World Market, and I just removed the background. So I'll teach you guys how to do that. Linking slides within the Google Slides presentation, which is how I did the go back button and how I linked all of those pictures on my board to other slides within the presentation. So I'll teach you that. And then just sharing the presentation to students in Google Classroom if you weren't sure how to do that. And then anything else that you guys have questions about today. So, anybody having trouble before we get started? I want to keep asking because we're quiet today. Okay. Oops. All right. Give it a minute. I don't know why it just disappeared. There we go. Okay. So the first slide, on slide 3, you're going to see how to search for an image. So we're going to go through this really fast. I'm going to let you read it really quick while I discipline my dog over here. Scratching. Go. Go outside. Go. Go. My apologies. Okay, so down in the right-hand corner, most of you would have found that little Explore tool. And it is going to bring up, it's basically like a Google search within your slides. Tag, I think you probably did this because we were doing that Google class and they kind of showed us this. And then you can go in there, and I said on type 2 or on number 2, I said type in the words Apple Vector. You can also type in the word transparent, but Vector is going to prompt Google to find images that don't have a background. So Apple Vector. And then I'll click on the Images tab, and then it'll bring up all of these apples that don't have backgrounds on them. So then I said in the directions, I said, drag one of the apples onto the slide, resize, and place in the box. So I'm going to choose this little guy. I'm going to drag it over. It's going to take a moment while it populates. And then there's this big old apple that has a transparent background already. I'm going to make sure that I remove any links that are already existing to it because I don't want that there. And then I'm just going to resize this little guy and put it in the box. And that is the first slide. Any questions about that? I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions about that one? All right. I'm going to move. Let me know in the chat or just shout out if you need anything. Okay. So that's literally the first part. That is how I found some of my images, like the classroom doors I used for for the 4th grade. I think Brandy did the same thing for her example classroom. I don't know if any of you have seen Brandy Firth's, but it's very cute. But she did the same thing. So just searching in that Explore tool, finding things with transparent backgrounds. I could also go, and I'll do it again in here too, to give you some more examples. Say you wanted a couch vector, or I'll do transparent couch. Here's a couch here. I can pull that over into the slide. And then here's a couch that I can now move around my classroom or my board, and it doesn't have a background. So that's pretty fun. All right, next slide. So we are going to use the Explore tool again, but this part is a little more tricky because we're going to talk about photos that still have a background. So for example, I used yesterday the picture of Jaeger that I inserted into mine. He had grass all around him and I just had to remove it. So I used this site and I put a link there in this slide for removing backgrounds. So we're going to be using that today. So if I open that up, it's called Remove BG. So I'll have that open in my browser or in one of the windows on my computer. And then we're just going to follow the directions over here. So using the Explore tool again, we're going to search for a pizza. I'm not going to type in transparent. I'm not going to type in vector this time, although you could. But I want something a little different. Pizza is my favorite food, right? And I want to put it on my Meet the Teacher board. So I type in pizza and I go to images and I see all these pictures. They all have backgrounds. So for example, if I click on this one, this pizza has basil in the background, the garlic in the background. I just want the pizza. That's all I want. So I'm going to have to save this image to my computer by right-clicking and then clicking Save As. And then I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to type it Yum Pizza, and that's what I'm going to save it as. And so it will go into my downloads folder. One thing you do have to make sure is that it's an image. So when it saves, just check that it's an image or a JPEG, and then save. All right, now for most of us, these pictures are going to pop up down at the bottom of our screens. The other place that you would be able to find this image, if you weren't sure, would be in your downloads folder. And most of the time, it's going to be that first picture in the downloads folder so that you're able to easily locate it. Now, the second, after we've gone through, we've searched pizza, we clicked on the photo, we right-clicked and saved, and it popped up at the bottom of our browser or in our downloads folder, and now we're going to remove the background. So I'm going to the remove site that I linked for you, and I'm going to drag that pizza onto the website. Now, the other way to do that is to upload. So I'm just gonna go back and kind of start the process over so I can show you both ways. You can also upload the image from your computer. It will bring up your download folder. It's gonna be the first one there usually. So there's two ways you can do it, drag and drop or upload from your computer. Now watch as it magically removes the background. And now there's just a pizza. So then the next step is to download this image. I need to save it again. It's gonna download as a removed background. And you can kind of see down here. And if I open it up in the Finder as well, let me look at downloads, it's gonna have Yum Pizza, Preview, PNG. It says removed. So I know that's the one that I want. And then I'm gonna go back to my slide here. And since it popped up at the bottom, I'm just gonna drag it into the slide. And there's my pizza. Oops, it went to the wrong slide, but I'm just gonna copy it and paste it. So there's the pizza right in my box. I'm just gonna delete that really fast. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing really fast to take a moment to ask some questions. And anybody? No one? Thanks, hon.
Megan, you're doing awesome.
Okay, I feel like I'm going really fast and
So honestly, like the way you're doing this is so helpful.
say that again, Karen.
Chloe and I have a special ed meeting to get to at 8, so we're gonna have to pop off.
Okay. All right.
get one.
Karen, if you don't mind speaking a little bit away from your microphone, you're cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry.
You're
We
okay.
have to leave at 8 for a special ed meeting.
Yeah, we have to be at 8 for our stuff as well, I think. So
Oh, okay.
there's only a couple more things to go over and then we can ask some quick questions.
Cool.
Okay, so, whew, oh, and I'm going pretty quick, so let me know if you need to slow down. Okay, so now adding pictures to your boards and linking them to other slides. Now, again, I've written out all of these directions, very detailed, to help you practice. So we're gonna take that apple, so we're gonna go back to slide 3, and I'm going back here, and I wanna click on this apple. And one thing about slides is they don't like the copy paste. Well, you can copy like that, or you can do the shortcut. Does anyone know the shortcut? Instead of having to click on it, does anyone know the shortcut on your computer keyboard? All right, if you don't, it is Command C or Control C. I'm on a Mac, so my machine is Command C, that will copy, or you can do Control C and that will also copy. And then we're gonna go down to slide 6, which is the picture of the board. And I am going to paste that in there. So I can do paste, or I can do Command V or Control V on a Windows machine. And there is my apple. Okay, now like my Meet the Teacher board, I linked it to another slide so that it could go directly to the description of why I have that item on my Meet the Teacher board. So this is an apple, it represents me being a teacher, so I'm gonna link it to a slide where I talk about being a teacher. So I down here have it on slide 7. So I have been a teacher for 6 years. And I want that apple, when students click on it, I want it to take me directly to this slide. So in order to do that, and I have the directions here, I'm just gonna skip over the pizza right now because we only have 10 minutes. It says now link the images. So we have to first click on the apple, and then we have to click on the link that looks like a paper clip in your toolbar. So if you look at the toolbar on top, I also showed you a picture down here. There's a little, once we click on the apple, there is a little paperclip link that will pop up and it says insert link. So I'm gonna select that, and now it's popped up below my apple, and I could link this to a YouTube video. I could link this to a Google assignment in my Google Classroom, but right now we're linking it to another slide within our presentation. and that's why it says slides in this presentation. So when I click on that, it brings up a list of all the slides that I already have in my presentation. Now I need to have planned ahead for this too. I need to have a slide that's designated and where I want this apple to lead me within the presentation. So you do have to add those slides before. You can't scroll down and add another slide when you're trying to do this. So you already have to have that slide made. So I want this apple to take me to slide 7. So I'm gonna select slide 7. Oops, did it work? Let's double check. Nope, it didn't. So here's slide 7. And then it prompts me to apply it. So I'm gonna click apply. And now I know that this apple is linked to slide 7. And then I'm gonna do the pizza really fast. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the pizza. Here's the pizza. And then Court, this is what I was talking to you about. You can easily take other pictures from my Bitmoji classroom and you can copy and paste them into your own Bitmoji classroom. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy it. So copy, I'm gonna go back to that bulletin board. I'm gonna paste it in. Oop. And so I have to use the shortcut, so Command V. And there's my pizza. And then I'm also going to link this, and I have a slide number 8. Pizza is my favorite food. So I'm gonna go back to that picture. I'm gonna click on the pizza. I want to link it to slide 8. So I go down to slide 8. And I'm going to apply that. And then there is slide 8. So I know that this pizza picture is linked to that particular slide. And now all we have to do is check to see if it was correct. So I'm gonna put this in present mode. And now I wanna check to see if my links work. So I'm gonna check with the pizza first. So there's the pizza. It worked. It went straight to the slide that I wanted it to go to, but now how do I get back? So you guys saw in my classroom how I had a little go back button, and I'm gonna quickly show you how to do that. It's very simple, and we are going to put in a go back button, and this is not in my direction, so definitely ask me again if you're not sure how. We're gonna insert a little text box down in the bottom corner, and I'm just gonna type in go back. Then I'm gonna select those words again, do the same thing I did with the apple and the pizza. I need to link them back to that slide. So we're gonna go back to slide number 6. So here's insert link. And then slides in the presentation, we're gonna link it to slide 6 because that's where the bulletin board is. We're applying that. And now that link turns this nice little green color. You can change the color of your link, but I just prefer to leave it this color because it's pretty universal that there's something there for kids to click on. So it's pretty self-explanatory for them. They don't have to worry about it. And then now if I put it in present mode and I want to go back to that bulletin board, the kids and myself can click on go back, and it takes me straight back to that bulletin board where now I can click on the apple, which takes me to I've been a teacher for 6 years. And then I can click on go back, and it's taking me back to that same slide that I want to send everyone back to. And that's everything. We have about 5 minutes. Are there any questions before I get started, or before we finish up, some of us?
Megan, this was awesome.
It's a lot. I know, Dawn.
No, but it's like, I feel like I'm at Hogwarts because it's all magical.
It is pretty magical, and it's really fun to play around with. So before you guys leave, the one thing I want to show you is I've linked a bunch of videos and resources for you in my Bitmoji classroom. So in the example that I sent you, there is, and I'm going to go ahead and share it with you so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So in my example that I let you guys play around with, you can go through all of the slides, see what I've done with my classroom, and you can go down to the slide that says resources for Bitmoji Classroom and Bitmoji and bulletin boards. I've linked the removing backgrounds. I've linked 2 start to finish tutorials from other teachers who have done this process from the very beginning to the very end. And that way you can see other teachers doing it too and get ideas from some other people. And then just different things like using slides to take attendance, which is something I will definitely be utilizing. How to add audio to your slides, how to share slides with students. So just stuff that I didn't necessarily get to go over today that you might be interested in. There's a bunch of resources here for you to look at. And then, of course, I included a bunch of slides that you can use to copy any of these images and use any of them in your own personal Meet the Teacher boards or your own personal classrooms if you choose to do so. So
Where did you get that cork board?
I literally searched. So when I did the Google vector, the transparent search, I typed in transparent clipboard. Or another way that I did that was just search the bulletin board, like cork board, and then I saved the image and I uploaded it as the background on my slide.
Megan, real quick with that, what you just showed us,
Yeah.
Where do we find that?
Okay, if it wasn't in the chat, it is definitely going to be in that Genius Hour document that you guys got yesterday. And if you don't have that, let me know. I will email it to you. But it should be there for you guys to use and make a copy of.
Okay, thank you so much. This was amazing. I love this.
Okay, good. And then of course, email by Karen logged off. Okay.
I just have one question. I'm a related service. So this can this be in anywhere in the Google Classroom? Like if I have to go to another meeting? Okay.
That was one of the things that I was going to talk about. So really quickly, I'm just going to share my screen with you. I'm going to share that again. I'm going to go to my Google Classroom really quickly, and I'll show you where I posted it and just kind of what it looks like. So if I go into my Google Classroom, and then here is my homeroom. And then they're gonna go to classwork, and then I have it right here under Meet the Teacher. So when they click on this Meet the Teacher material, they can click on the Google Slides, and now it's gonna open up. And I added my student teacher in, so that's why it looks a little bit different. But I have Mr. Bailey here, and so now they can put it in present mode and then start to click through the entire presentation. So it's not loading very fast, but that would be how it looks. So then they
Perfect, thank you.
How do they put it in present mode?
They are going to click on this little button, and that is one thing that's one thing I don't have right now, Dawn. I would have a slide before this. I would have some introductory slides that say, hey, good morning. We're going to practice going through this presentation. I want you to click to the next slide. Now click this. Now click this, and prompting students to learn how to use this without feeling like overwhelmed. So Tanya, thank you for coming. I'm so glad that you were able to join us this morning.
I love how simple you have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff. So you're going to do this at Back to Teacher Night?
Yeah, I'm going to use this for our Meet the Teacher Night. I'm going to have my student teacher make something as well. And then we have you guys. So
yeah, Dawn, did you see Brandy's, what she made for all of you guys?
Yeah, I did. But this is something that is just so freaking cool. I don't know if my brain can compartmentalize this stuff, but it's like the neatest thing ever.
It is.
I learned a lot though. God dang. So I have taken notes and notes and notes and notes. So, but this is all in your presentation?
Yeah, everything's there, and all of those step-by-step directions for you to practice too. So let me know if
I'm not being able to go back to that Genius thing or whatever that you put out the other day on the agenda. I can't get that.
When I send out this recording, I will resend that to you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.